There we go, and we're live. James goes, "What? Wait for Betty. The list is long tonight." To me, Betty's always been good. James and Chad's been the bad boys.
All right, so we on.
Palmetto's asking you guys what happened to the stashes, the mustache.
I got mine cut short. Pop completely took his out. I look like a big old cat head whenever I take mine completely off. So, hey, Betty Jean, Dockery, Chad, Palmetto, hey, Joe Buck. Yeah, we're able to see the chat, mate. Oh, look, there's Junior War Scout. Junior War Scout's got a nickname for us. He calls his team bait runs. He says that his bait's bigger than the fish that we catch.
Hey, Ace.
Hey, Junior, how you doing?
Hey, Junior.
Oh,
Dave.
you know exactly what I'm talking about, James.
Oh, look, there's Junior War Scout. I've got a nickname for us. He calls his team bait runs. He says that his bait's bigger than the fish that we catch.
Hey, Ace.
Hey, Junior, how you doing?
Hey, Junior.
Dave.
Oh, you know exactly what I'm talking about, James.
Oh, look, there's Junior War Scout.
Hold on a minute. You got a laugh here.
I've got a nickname for us.
There we go.
There we go. All right.
Yeah, I forgot I had the window open.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was me at first, and I was like, well, I thought I had mine muted.
No, I forgot to close out an extra window I had running.
How about I still got it. It's just real low. It's just real short. It's too hot to try. And keep a big, a full goatee. Doctor says, "Pop, push Kevin out of the way. We want just you on the show." Love you, Doc.
Welcome.
Doctor's just mad. Hey,
I know.
He just mad because Chad outfishes him a lot of times.
No, hey, you get one, you get both. The father and son fishing teams.
Yeah.
Plus Pops' new channel, which we'll be getting into here in a little bit when we get a few more people on here.
Betty Jean says she loved the cat head biscuit.
Oh, cool. She tried.
She just said
Chad's just telling you to do it, Pops. Chad says for you to push Kevin out of the picture.
I was talking about pushing me out of the picture. Jeff said, "Great."
Here's your first question, Pops.
Thanks. Yeah, if I push him out, I might mess up with my video because he's my let me see, how was it we put it? My editing staff.
Exactly.
And also, I guess you might say my producer, because it gives me a lot of pointers on how I need to do or what he feels that the way I need to do certain things. I go back and try them sometime. If they don't come natural, I just look at him and say, that ain't going to work.
Yeah,
Got to go another way.
Yeah, we take him and go back and forth and play off each other. Mike Marilla asked, Pops, what is the next how-to cook video, and can you give us a preview?
Actually, the next how-to that's coming up, can't show it to you where I'm at right now, but we're going to be looking at some red eye gravy. That's all I'm going to tell you. Just hang tight, look for the video, but we're going to be doing a red eye gravy. And old working monkey, he going to always throw a twist in there on you. About the time you think you done seen it all, bam, there it is. Something going with that red eye gravy. So be watching for it.
Yeah, we're looking at possibly dropping that video. Yeah, you can do this weekend.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it this weekend. We'll have
So-
it out next week.
Probably around Tuesday or so, that video would be dropped. If everything works out, might drop it earlier than that, but we're trying to go no later than Tuesday on dropping it out. Yeah, I've got to get some footage of for the K&B side, so I can drop another one. I've been kind of down and out, so red eye gravy. But
that sounds like she's interested.
oh yeah, Betty Jean says she wants some red eye gravy to go along with her canned biscuits.
Betty Jean,
Biscuits,
I'm gonna show you how to use
look really good.
biscuits and that red eye gravy together. There's a way that you got to do it to make it come out right. So be watching.
Another way of Pops.
Yeah, Mike was directing to Kevin is part of the production staff. Are you also a taste tester for Pops cooking videos? And if not, how do I sign up for that job? Yes, Mike. Yes, Marilla.
Taste tester for that job.
I taste everything. Well, more or less. Some of them I've already had before, and I love it. So, it's it's nothing new. So, but I still love to taste test it. Hey, Paris, how's it going?
Hey, Paris, welcome.
Oh, there's Norm.
Norman,
Norman.
Catfish Headhunter, Catfish and Pappy. Ozark Jr., S. Smith, Mr. Gadget, Ace, Fishing with a Chad, James, Mike Irving, which Mike Irving was the first one in chat tonight.
Yeah. S. Smith, Fishing with the Squirrel. Or Fishing with Squirrel, excuse me.
Yeah, Fishing with Squirrel.
I think that's an awesome channel name, Fishing with Squirrel. It's funny to me.
Yeah, it is.
Every time I see that when he pops up in chat, every time I see Fishing with Squirrel, I think about the when the squirrel what was it when the squirrel went berserk?
Oh, when the squirrel went berserk in the it was the church.
Yeah.
Anyway, I forgot what.
Anyways,
Ray Stevens.
Ray Stevens. Yeah, the old Ray Stevens song.
Pop, so you're going to do some barbecue on the channel.
Barbecue on the channel, Pop.
Barbecue on the channel.
Probably.
Most likely, yes. I'm gonna give you something to look forward to down the road, and I'm not gonna tell you when I'm gonna put it out. But several years before I retired, we had a cook-off at the restaurant that I last worked at, and in that cook-off, I brought a Jack Daniel's Cajun ham. That was my blue ribbon recipe. And I call it my blue ribbon recipe because I won first place with it and got a blue ribbon. I'm not going to tell you when that's coming out, but I will be cooking a blue ribbon recipe down the road.
Junior Warscott said, Pops need to cook some catfish. He said, I'll be the tester. Trust me when I tell you this, Junior. It's good, son. It is really good.
Oh, I've got coming up very near future. I'm not going to tell you how long that's going to be, but I got a surprise for all you catfishermen out there about a catfish breakfast.
No, really?
It's odd for catfish to be eaten for breakfast,
Let me tell you something. It's good.
but it is awesome. And I'll give you the details when I put that video out. But it's, keep in mind, catfish breakfast.
Junior says he's on his way.
No.
Junior,
You
come
would
on
really-
down. Some fishing and some cooking too.
Now you would have really had me if you'd have said a crappie breakfast,
We can do that too.
Yeah.
catfish
Yeah.
and crappie breakfast.
I was going to say that the recipe that he's talking about actually can be done with a variety of fish.
Yep.
It can be everything from panfish all the way up, to even saltwater.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. It's something it's actually something that we actually come about finding out ourselves. Um, the first part of the year, and had a chance to actually sit down and eat and um, eat it, and it was very surprising when you hear about it. When you first hear about what it is and how it's made, you think to yourself, really, I'm not 100% sure that's going to taste right. But then when you put that first piece of catfish in your mouth, um, and it's without going into great detail with it, it's kind of a unique taste, but it's a good unique taste. It's not one of those you'll get used to it type of thing. It's more along the lines of it's like wow, and you before you know it, your whole plate's gone. And it really surprised us. So we incorporated that, or was incorporating that into part of the cooking out, cooking side of the show.
Hey, Elstan, welcome.
I was going to have a New England catfish chowder.
Who is?
Kevin,
Kevin is
Oh,
Palmetto
cool.
Cat.
Yeah,
Junior said, "He says I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Somebody come on down. Let's do some fishing."
Yes, sir. Come on.
Hey, Pops,
Okay, what's up, Elstan?
let's tell us what got you into this cooking channel.
I got you.
Let us know what got you into this cooking channel.
Yeah, for years I was in and out of restaurant business. I've been in the food industry off and on from the grocery store level of the food industry right on up into the restaurant aspect of it. I went from dishwasher all the way up through the corporate level as district manager of a well-known chain. I won't mention names because I'm not wanting to advertise for them. Not that I have anything against them. I just don't feel that I need to advertise for them. My last 7 years, after having climbed up to corporate level, I got out and was in construction for a while. And when the bottom fell out, I went back to the restaurant business because I knew that those good restaurants are going to be there. And so the last 7 years, I worked as a server in a nationwide chain. And in working as a server there, I actually made more money as a server than I did as a district manager. Now, that sounds strange, but I was told when I started with this chain and for my interview, I was told straight up that I was overqualified for the job. And I looked that interviewer straight in the eye, smiled all the way, and inside I was just mattering 4 rips. But I looked him straight in the eye and said, "No, sir, I'm better qualified than any server you've got on your floor." He sat back and looked at me like, wow, nobody's ever spoke to me like that before. And he said, "Why do you say that?" I said, "Because I've been up the chain. I know what you expect out of a server, and I will be the best server you've ever had on your floor." Long story short, I ended up training other servers. And I asked also to be on the circuit server training program, going from store to store, training other servers in new stores. I turned that down because at that time I wasn't in a position to travel. But yeah, if you know what you're doing as a server and you anticipate what your customer needs, and they don't have to ask for it, the money will go on the table. And I know that from self-experience. It was nothing on a slow night to walk out of the restaurant, for me, to walk out of the restaurant with $200 in my pocket.
That's good.
So, yeah, it's there. When you hear servers whining and crying and carrying on about, oh, I ain't making no money, I only get $2.13 an hour. Well, guess what? That takes care of your taxes. What you make on that table is what you live off of.
Exactly.
And once you make that money on that table, you can live off of tips alone. That $2.13, I never drew a paycheck ever as a server. My paycheck was always zero because that $2.13 took care of the taxes, and my tip was what I lived off of.
Right. It's on how you treated your customers is how you got your tips. The better you treated your customers, the more tips you made.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. And it's not, a lot of servers have this idea that you run the tab up by selling, meaning, would you like cheese in those eggs? Would you like extra this, extra that, blah, 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 blah. Money don't come from upselling, even though the restaurants will push that idea on you because of the fact that they want those sales. But
yeah, they want those sales, but that ain't where your tip comes from.
But that's not where your tip comes from. Your tip comes from just what it says, serving the needs of those people who come in and understanding the fact those people did not come in that restaurant to lollygag and have a good time BSing with the server. They came in there to sit down, to relax as a group, to eat and enjoy a meal, and they expect you to take care of their needs, but don't run up there every time you turn around and go, you want some more tea? Oh, that just burns me up whenever I walk in a restaurant and somebody walks up to me and goes, you want some more tea? Right in the middle of my conversation.
That's whenever I'm going to turn around and
Sure, I like some more tea, please. So what you do if you're a good server, you got that coffee pot or that tea pitcher in your hand, you walk up and you reach over and you start to pour that empty glass or half empty glass. That glass should never be more than half empty in a restaurant.
Exactly.
You pour that tea, let that customer stop you at whatever point they don't want any more tea or coffee or any other beverage. Let that, no conversation is the best way to make money. Be friendly, be nice, but don't interrupt those conversations.
No.
And for heaven's sake, don't walk up to a table when they have just bowed their head to say a blessing and go, anything else I can get for y'all? Because right then, guess what kind of tip you're fixed to get off of that table?
Nothing.
None, maybe, if you're lucky, a handful of change. And that's most of the time pennies because you just blew your whole concept.
Oh, yeah. When I go in a restaurant, I will give a waitress or a waiter a tip on how they act and how they serve me.
Right. Kevin has a unique, he's shared this with me. I'm going to let him share it with you, a unique way of what he does as far as tipping a server, depending on where he's at. Kevin, tell us about it.
oh yeah, whenever I go to a restaurant and sit down, the server automatically gets $5. That's just across the board what I generally do. And I say they automatically get $5. What I expect is basically what Pop was saying. When I sit down, you come, you take my order, you get my drinks, you bring my drinks in a timely manner, you get the meal out. I understand, and understanding the restaurant business, I know sometimes depending on what you order, it has to be cooked to order. So therefore, I also know roughly how long it needs to be cooked and how long it should be sitting, in that window before it gets to my table. So a lot of that plays into the effect of how I tip. But if if that waiter or waitress is personable, they're not just coming out, what do you want, or what's your drink, or something, like that. It's automatic $5. If you vary any from what I expect for that $5, you won't get a tip, or you might get $1 or $2. I won't not tip you. I have very rarely sat at a restaurant and not tip someone. But you might only get $1. And like I said, if you're exceptional, and I've given $20 tips before, for very exceptional waitresses and waiters, because basically they went above and beyond what I expected of them, and because of that, I gave them what I felt they were worth. But
Right.
I always start out with a $5 tip, and that's when I go in. I know that's what I'm going to tip. If you go above and beyond that, or and that also plays on the amount of food. If I'm in a large party, and there's the $5 is because I like to tip anywhere from 10 to 15% most of the time, and usually the $5 is above the 15 or around or right at 15%. So that's more or less a given unless you're in a larger party. If you're in a larger party, then obviously that 15% can be a lot more. However, during that time frame, if you're not within what I expect, you may not get that 15%. But there again, you may get more. It's just the way that it's. I know we're not supposed to judge people, and I don't like to say I'm judging, but I am at the same time because I know what I expect the server to be. I'm not trying to be, a butthole, being nice about the way I said that. About it, because I'm always courteous to, the waiters and waitresses. I know they have a hard job, and they're a lot of times, their clientele is not as courteous to them as they would like, or that they are to the, clientele sometimes. So I know they're, it's a hard job. I mean, I've waited tables myself years ago. I was 18, I think, whenever I did that, and like Pop, I always got great tips. Why? Because I was personable towards the clients, the customers, and and I also made sure that they got what they needed when they needed it.
Oh yeah, exactly.
But but yeah, I mean, it's just the way I do things. I mean, if I sit down, it's when I go into that restaurant, sit down, it's automatic $5. That's just a given. That it's going to be a $5 tip, and then depending upon what that waiter or waitress does, will definitely depend upon whether they get that $5 or more or less.
S. Smith, you're exactly right. I noticed the comment that was made that you get to know your customers. Some just come in and they want some conversation, and others, they want to be left alone. You're exactly right. And that's the anticipation part. Once you get to know your customers, my customers, if once you became my regular and you came in on a regular basis, and I knew that every time you came in, and I made mental notes of these things, if every time you came in, you drank tea, sweet or unsweet, I remembered that. Guess what? You never had to tell me. I never went to your table and asked what your drink order was. I just carried your tea out there and set it on the table for you because I knew that's what you were going to order. That goes a long, long way in putting money in your pocket as a server.
Oh yeah.
That anticipation. If you ordered a hamburger, guess what I brought to you? And most people never think about this. I brought A1 sauce to your table. You would be surprised how many people put A1 sauce on a hamburger, especially a hamburger steak, which is ground beef made into a patty, a huge patty. A1 is the number one steak sauce, but at the time I set that down, I would also say we also have Worcestershire and Heinz 57 if you prefer. Now, that don't sound like much to some people, but that makes a big difference because a lot of people eat A1 on their hamburger steaks especially. So if it's a steak, why not bring A1 to the table? A lot of people that eat A1 on their hamburger steak eat it on their regular hamburgers. Now, you don't get that at McDonald's, but if you order a hamburger and you want a sauce on it, but you don't want the standard ketchup, mustard, mayonnaise type thing, most people will say, could I get A1 on that, please, in your nicer restaurants? Now, you go to McDonald's, guess what you're going to get? Pretty much whatever they put on it.
Yeah.
Most of the time, if you tell them, they'll, my experience, and I'm saying McDonald's, I'm not singling them out. I'm just giving them as a restaurant that cooks burgers. Most of the time, my experience, especially if you go through the drive-through, about 50% of the time, they're going to get it right. The other 50%, you're going to have to take it back and get it done right.
2 questions popped up, Avid. Mike Greenwell asked, you ever put A1 on a burger while grilling it? Most definitely, and it is very delicious.
Yes.
It's very delicious when you put A1 on the burger when you're grilling it.
Oh, yeah. It makes that hamburger very juicy as well.
Oh, yeah. It seals in the juices.
Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire sauce while you're grilling it's good, too.
And then Palmetto asked, did Pop said, so you're seeing your experience in the restaurant actually inspired your channel?
Yes.
Actually, it did.
It did. My experience through the years in the restaurant actually inspired my channel, because here's the thing that I got. I don't care where you work. If you're not taking something with you from that job, and I don't mean physically stealing, I'm saying that if you don't take something with you, if you don't learn something, I don't care how many jobs you do, every job you should learn something from it that will apply to the next job you go to. Regardless of what that job is, you should be able to take something from it. And what I took from my years of experience with the restaurant business was one thing. And that one thing was the fact most people don't know where the recipes come from that all of these restaurants are cooking from.
Hey, Jim.
Hey, Jim.
Yeah, we know how you do.
James, Chad, who blocked Betty?
Oh, no, don't block Betty.
Dockery needs to.
K&B Anglo is timed out by James Dockery. I'm gonna pick that one. I'm gonna fix that one. There. Now we can't do that to you no more.
Dockery got his blue wrench taken from me.
No, I gave you the blue wrench.
Oh, I see that now.
Yeah.
I just got to go rescue Betty. Because according to James, Chad had blocked her.
Paris said,
was here, but who blocked her out?
Really good. But nah, yeah, I would say as far as restaurant business is concerned, it's pretty much something that's always been in our family. And my brother is actually a chef. He went to school to be a chef, and he works in the restaurant business, cooking. That's his forte, and he can cook. Let me tell you, that boy can cook. But how much why you got a fascination with my teeth tonight, Palmetto?
Kevin, I'm sorry, but Kevin is weird like that. He's got these weird fascinations that.
That's 3 times I've seen.
Kevin has these weird fascinations that are just mind blowing.
And
you swear, I think he's in 3rd grade.
Hey, Mark, that's catfishing crappy.
Oh, hey, Mark.
Hey, Mark, how are you doing tonight? I know she was in here. I just can't find her in chat no more.
Who's that, Betty?
Yeah.
Back in here.
Actually, Doctor did say something about she had something to go do. I don't know if that's because he blocked her or not.
I think Chad got a hold of her and blocked her.
No, not Chad.
Yeah.
So
Chad
everybody
and
gets.
James, since they've been getting together, they've been getting wild hair.
That's what I was hearing? What Evan, that everybody gets a blue wrench tonight except for Chad and Dockery.
I'm thinking about removing 2 wrenches from 2 people in here and letting them feel what it likes to get hit by the band hammer.
Dockery's mad because first time that I ever had that he was ever in chat that I had a blue wrench. I accidentally timed him out. But that's how we became great friends, isn't that right, Dockery? Oh, but yeah, like I said, that's pretty much the going thing. The fishing actually just came about because it was something that Pop and I had a passion for. My mama actually takes credit for me being a angler or a fisherman, because the night before I was born, she was literally sitting on either in a boat or on the bank one, I'm not sure.
It's your granddaddy.
My granddaddy's on the bank.
Went and caught fish.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Anyways,
he was craving fish.
Oh, that's right. Okay, that's the way the story went. I forgot.
She was actually craving that.
She was craving fish the night before I was born, and my great granddaddy went down to the pond, and that we used to fish whenever I was a little boy. Anyways, he went out to the pond and caught up a mess of fish, and that's what she had the night before I was born. And I'm a Pisces at that, because I was born in March, so it's kind of a given, kind of a given. Oh, and whenever I was born, I had a fish as a birthmark. So it kind of went hand in hand that I should enjoy. It kind of goes hand in hand that I should enjoy fishing. Pop was every chance we could get whenever I was little, we would go to a pond or we would never really fish a lake because we didn't have a boat, but most of the fishing we did was like ponds and little creeks such as that. And so, always loved, Junior War Scout calls me Team Bait Run. For growing up, that's what we call now bait is what we call as a norm, which of course was, bluegill. And if you caught up a good mess of bluegill, you had a good day. And we didn't worry about size because everything we caught, we kept.
It was big enough to bite a hook. It was big enough to eat. That was our motto.
Remember that statement I made about Palmetto?
I'm sorry?
Remember the statement I made about Palmetto? About Kevin?
Yeah.
It took him that long to catch hold of it. That was a good 3 minutes ago.
Right? But yeah, that was like I said, that's how we got into it. And 4 years ago, after I bought my first boat, we started fishing the lake or fishing in the lake, the one that we normally go to, Lake Sinclair. I know before the show you was asking us about that lake. Lake Sinclair is over in Millersville, Georgia, and it's our go-to lake. It's kind of like Lake Wiley is for Junior War Scout, and the Ohio River is for a lot of these guys in Chattanooga, and the Tennessee River, et cetera, so on and so forth. It's our go-to because number one, it's close to us, and number two, it's close to us.
It's closer to me than it is you.
I was going to say, and now it's even closer to Pop than it is me because he's literally got his he's got land over there now and trying to get a house together and clearing the land and everything to put the house on. And so he's literally 5 minutes from the lake itself. So he can go down there on the dot and fish all he wants to until he gets his boat fixed. Once he gets his, Pop's got a boat of his own. Once he gets his fixed, he's got to put a floor in it and make sure the motor's running and all that. Once he gets it all fixed, we can get out there. Then, you know, he'll be out on the lake himself, you know, more often than I am. But that's how we got, like I said, that's how we got into it. Going out there, and you know, then we decided to, you know, we watched YouTube basically because we caught what we caught at the time, big catfish, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8 pounds, and for us that was big catfish, you know, and at the time that we started fishing, we were catching everything, just like we were just talking about. And if it was big enough to, you know, grab that hook, it was big enough to, you know, to put in the put in the live well or in the cooler, you know, take back home and cook. And so that's what we did. I filled up in 1 year. Pop and I managed to fill up a chest freezer, not a small chest freezer, neither. I mean, I'm talking a fairly good sized freezer, with nothing but catfish, because we got into catching catfish, and we were literally catching what Junior likes to call his bait, and you know, Junior's bait sized catfish, but that was that good eating, you know, catfishing as well. And matter of fact, I set up when we set the YouTube up, you know, we kept talking about doing good eating catfish, you know.
Yeah.
You know, we were all about at the time cooking up, or not cooking up, but catching up what we called good eating, you know, catfish. And you know, that was those catfish that were 3, 4, 5 pounds, that you could either, you know, flay out or just cook up straight up whole. And that's what we were doing our YouTube videos. And then we got to looking at catching bigger, and they started getting a little bigger. And then we started looking at going other places to catch fish. And we started doing that, caught bigger fish. Now it's kind of an obsession to catch, you know, to go out there and target those big catfish. We've gotten recently into catching big carp as well. And that's been a lot of fun trying to catch those.
Ace, my personal PB flat in a lifetime is 25 pounds. My personal best flathead since we've had our channel is 0. I have not caught a flathead since I've been fishing with K&B anglers. I've caught blues, I've caught channel. My personal best blue is 17.3. My personal best channel is about 4 pounds. But flatheads, I haven't caught a flathead since I've been fishing with Kevin as K&B anglers. I'm starting to wonder, because he has caught a flathead. I'm starting to wonder about why I'm not catching flatheads.
I caught a flathead on somebody else's boat, though.
Well, I know, but you caught one. It don't matter whose boat you caught it on, you caught it.
Well, yeah, I caught it.
So, you know, that's what counts. You caught a flathead. And it was, what was it? 25 ounces. I mean, pounds.
Actually, the first flathead I caught weighed in, I think, somewhere around 1.25 pounds.
Yep.
Was the very first flathead I ever caught. I actually have that on one of my videos, of me catching that. And then it would be 2 years later, roughly, from the time I caught that. I was actually on Junior Warscow's brother's boat out on Lake Wiley, and it had been storming pretty hard. We got caught up in the storm, anchored up right in the middle of Lake Wiley, and just as the storm subsided, literally it was down to just a few droplets of water. All of a sudden, the rod jerked. I grabbed it up, brought in a 10-pound blue. No sooner had I got the blue back in the boat, and the rod right next to it just touched the water. And I brought in the 25-pound flathead off of Lake Wiley. Jaw Jerker asked, "What's y'all's favorite pond to fish?" Well, Junior, I thought Junior. Jaw Jerker, I'm gonna say JJ. JJ, we have a couple of good ponds that we like to fish. One we call our catfish pond. It belongs to a buddy of mine that it belongs Reed Jr.
Yeah.
It belongs to a buddy of mine who literally filled it with channel cat. He overfilled it with channel cat. It's a fairly new pond. It's like 5 years old, and he overfilled it with channel cat. And he wanted us to come out there and try and pull them out as many as we possibly could. And the amount of cat he's got in that pond, there's no way we could fish every day for a single year and still not touch half that population of channel cat he's got in that pond. But it's real fun to go out there. And matter of fact, if you guys have seen those videos that I put out, talking about the catfish pond, y'all can see we have a lot of fun going out there, just wrenching them out one right after another. The second pond that we like to fish is what I like to call our bass pond. My wife loves to eat bass, and this particular pond is where they're so dead with bass. So it ain't nothing to go out there. And I'm not talking about just, pan-sized bass. I'm talking about it's nothing for me to go out to that pond and on a normal day bring in 3, 4, 5 pound bass out of this pond. And I'm talking in numbers of like 3, 4, and 5 in the afternoon. I've caught a 7.5 pound bass out of that pond. That's my personal PB on bass. And I hung into one that was bigger than that, but unfortunately, by the time I got him into the shore, he decided to do one last clip, as they always will, and he spit the hook. But I managed to see him before, because he was right up at the edge of the bank. I was able to get to see him, and I know he was bigger than that 7.5. My buddy who owns that pond has caught a 10 pound out of there, and has said he's caught one that has literally broke him off 3 or 4 times. So there's something bigger in that pond that just hasn't been caught yet.
Welcome, Scotty Hill, aka Catfishing Freak.
Scotty's in the house. Scotty's in the house.
Hey, Scotty Hill.
Kenneth said, hell yeah.
Now, here's a question. I've noticed on a lot of your videos that I've went back and watched, there's a certain thing in that video or something peculiar in your videos is how you name your videos. Is that for every video that you do, or is that just random?
Nah, I do that. I do that every video. You're talking as far as what my thumbnail names are.
Right. Your title of your thumbnail or your videos?
Yeah, usually I tried right at the beginning to be kind of quirky with it. But then in talking with different people who watched our videos, they were saying that, not that they didn't like what I was doing. It was just that, they liked the fact that a lot of times we would try and incorporate into the title, something to do with that particular, video. I can't even think of some of the names I put out there. I put out so many, but if you see the title, I try to make that title interesting enough that it pulls you into the video.
Yeah.
As a new viewer, not necessarily as someone who regularly watches our videos, because if you regularly watch our videos, then obviously you're going to go in there. I could just put bass and you're going to go watch it, or catfish and you're going to watch it. But those that are new to the channel, or those that just happen, it randomly comes up in their feed on YouTube. I try to make the title as interesting as possible to pull you into the video. We're catching the invasive species on Lake Sinclair. That was one that I did because it was just a little funny, quirky thing that we did right at the spur of the moment, because I caught literally a limb that was about, it's bigger than my head. Anyways, so in pulling it up, it's like off the top of my head, I was like, oh, ladies and gentlemen, I just went all, crazy. It wasn't scripted. It was like spur of the moment. It was extremely, just me being crazy, kind of like Pop when he does his twerking. And
that ain't crazy, boy. That's dead serious. What's wrong with you?
And so like I said, I try to I try to do that title interestingly enough that will make you go, huh, I wonder what this video is going to be about, and go into it, so that you actually see. That's how you pick up viewers as well. The more interesting I found out in starting out this YouTube thing, I found out the more interesting that the thumbnail is and looks, and the more interesting the title is and how it corresponds with that thumbnail, the more it's going to entice newer people into your videos and into watching your videos. A lot of the if you go back and look at a lot of the bigger name YouTubers out there, their thumbnails are usually something that's kind of quirky, or they've got a little quirky title on it, and in so doing, it makes you want to go in there and watch them, and Doctor's trying to defend himself. And so that's what I started doing there was trying to do that.
Now, I think it was the second or third video that I watched from the end, where you guys had that catfish wrap around your prop of your boat.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
Pops, how much of a fight did you have with that cat with that net to get him landed on that video?
The one that was around the top.
Yeah, when it got around the back of the boat.
I wrestled with that cat for a while with that net. He'd roll up. I try to put him in the net, wouldn't happen. Apparently, because and then I realized that I wasn't going to get him in the net because he didn't have enough line far enough out to get it into the net, and that's when I reached back and asked for the grippers. And once I got the grippers on him and cut the line, of course, then it was all over with. But I wrestled probably 15 minutes with that fish.
Yeah, it was a good 15
It was a good 15 minutes wrestling, just trying to get him in that net back there. And then I finally realized because every time I would get the net right at him, he'd twist. Well, then of course the prop was in the way. Fish, the line itself wasn't long enough to get a full. If I got the net under him,
he'd just fall out.
I couldn't pick him up because of the not enough line. So finally, after about 15 minutes of trying, I just finally said, okay, the only answer to this is put lippers on him, cut the line, bring him on into the boat. And
which we thought was the best route to get the fish unhung.
And so we did that, and the fish went back alive with no problems.
And I think that fish was, what, 16 pounds? 16 pounds?
16, between 16 and 17 pounds.
About 15, 16, 17, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
And it was on one of the nights. That particular video is actually just a small segment of a larger portion of that night, which I've actually cut up into several different videos, because we had an excellent night that night. The one fish, the biggest fish we caught that particular night was 22 and change, like 22 and a half, I think it was.
What do you mean change? We got a change shortage, and you hauling change.
No, change. That's a corn shortage, different story.
Oh,
you didn't take a field of corn. Okay. Anyway, so anyways, that was one of it was the largest fish of the night, and of course it was caught right as dark hit, and I didn't have any footage of it because I didn't have any lighting on the boat to be able to film it. But we were catching some pretty nice. I mean, they were all teeners, other than that 22. They were all teeners that night, and it was just fun. And when I seen that fish and where it got wrapped up in the prop, I told Pop, I said, we have got to get this fish out from under this, out from under this motor. There's no way we're going to get it otherwise. And so Pop looked over and saw where it was at, and he's like, let me see it. And he tries, he's, as you see in the video, he's up on the live well on his hands and knees, and he's trying to pick this fish up with the net. And finally, pulls the net back. And it's like, give me the grippers. I can't get a good, a good grip or a good hang on this fish. That's when he climbed over on the motor and was able to take and put the grippers on him, cut the line, hand the fish back to me, and then I just pulled my line out from the prop itself, and then we regrouped and re-rigged and threw back out that night. But that was a very interesting night, to say the least.
That same night, we 2 fish caught up in the anchor rope that we had to pull the anchor up, but we didn't get footage of it. But because
we got that one night that they got hooked on the same anchor. So, but we was able to get that.
Yeah, we was able to pull by pulling the anchor up. We could get to the fish.
I tell you what,
and get it in. When you're out there fishing,
you got to do what you got to do.
You got to do what you got to do.
You got to find the best way to get that fish in from a tangle where it's close to shore or not. But
exactly.
In fact, our first experience with catfish and odd situations was we were out one night with the first boat we had back when we thought 5-6 pound catfish was big catfish. We were coming along the bank, just drifting along with light tackle, just casting out with a float, let hit whatever. And we hadn't got into catfishing like we are now. And my wife was with Kevin and I that night, and I said, whoa, Kevin, he's up there trolling along. And I said, whoa, I got a fish on, whoa. And my wife said, are you going to stop this boat, Kevin? I said, Pop's got a fish on back here. Well, then he realized what was going on. Well, in the process of all of that, this fish got tangled up in debris, wrapped around it. I couldn't pull that fish in no way at all. I could see that fish on top of the water. And I told Kevin, I said, back this boat up. I'm getting this fish. He is not getting away. Well, that was our first experience.
Ted asked if you used the multi-tool to get him in.
I most certainly did. The multi-functioning, multi-operational KitchenAid tool right here.
I want to address something here. Earlier up, I had seen this and I had to go back and find it right quick. Jaw Jerker asked a question, said, K&B, where do you see yourselves going in your tournament career? As in just fishing them because you like it or to make a living with it? Right now, I just fish, Pop and I, we fish them just because we like fishing them. Making a career out of it, that not anything I see in the near future. We're literally, Junior, I'm gonna go ahead and admit to it, boy. We're literally newbies. So, but we've done some good, some good fishing. Catfishing especially, we're new to it, and so I don't see us doing it as a career. Not anytime soon. Anyways, I work full time, so we can only do these things when we can. So, running 1 to 2, maybe 3 tournaments a year is about the max we can actually do, because a lot of those I have to do while when I can take my vacation.
K&B, do me a favor.
Yes, sir.
Make him lose at the Grand Slam tournament. He's talking a lot of smack about you.
Oh yeah.
You're going to lose to him at the Grand Slam tournament.
See, Junior's already. Junior and I already have this thing about him taking my money and everything. So yeah. But Palmetto's going to be down there. Of course, Junior. That's Junior's late. So. Junior. I'll give I give Junior Warskow a lot of flack a lot of times. Just because Junior's real cool. I like Junior. He's a good guy, and he can talk crap just about as much as the rest of us can. And so it's good. It's good, for him to go back and forth with him. especially when it comes to his lake. But Junior has only, I will say this, in knowing what I do know about Junior, Junior has only been, really trophy catfishing, like you just said on here, a couple of years, 2 to 3 years himself. His brother Richard Warskow has been doing the tournament, trials pretty regular for several years now. So Junior's been trying to pick up points here and there. And he does, I will say this, Junior is a hell of a fisherman. I'm not going to take it away from him. Junior very well may, and I'll say may, Junior, because like I told you before, anything can happen. But Junior may wind up, beating me out in the Grand Slam. And if he does, I'm not going to take that from him because he is a hell of a fisherman. We are very new to his lake. It was on a fish that not even 5 times now, 4 times, 4 to 5 times has been on his lake. And, we only know a portion of that lake where Junior actually knows it a lot better. Palmetto, on the other hand, has as of yet to go fish water that I'm aware of. So, Kevin, I'm going to tell you something. Bring it, son. There was a little bet that Richard Warskow and I had for this year that never got played out. If you beat me, I will wear a tutu and have my picture taken next to you. So you go ahead and bring it, son, because I will make you eat your words. Just saying.
And Kevin, I do not have any unveiled hate toward you. You just pushed the wrong button tonight, and I just started picking on you back, slamming hard. I'm normally an easygoing person, but when someone keeps pushing that button, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, Kev's, Kev's domain is of course Santee Cooper, and he does really well out there, and the Cooper River. He just put out a catfish today, a catfishing video today, where he norm leggings. No, we're not doing leggings. I was like, I told Junior, anything can happen if Palmetto may make me eat my words and wear that tutu. But yeah, he does, he does a great job out there. I'll give you that.
The squirrel says, Pops, come to the upstate. I'll put you on some flatties.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Evan.
Fishing with Squirrels told Pops to come to upstate and he'll put him on some flatties.
There we go.
Now, I noticed on I think it was your latest video, you were watching Patriot Catfisher.
Oh, yeah.
Patriot Catfisherman, or James's live stream.
Right.
And the rod to your left just went crazy in the rod holder, bouncing in and out.
Oh, yeah, we almost lost that rod.
You? The rod that's sat next to you, KB?
Right.
When that thing bounced real hard, did that scare you or what?
Oh, yeah. When you're watching in the video, it's like, I had people make comments on that video talking about how that, they were watching it and they were going, first rod or rod to your left or whatever, yelling at the camera, like they're trying to get my attention, like it's a live stream or something. And said, but we were sitting there, and it pretty much had died down. We'd had a pretty good night that night as well, and it was starting to kind of die down a little bit. I literally had that line behind us. What it was is where we were sitting, the spot that we were sitting in was off of a shallow, off of a trench, and then off of a ledge. So I had a pretty good spread all the way out, on that particular, night. And that particular rod, what was it?
Palmetto made a comment about
He says he has his bags packed and he's ready.
it's already packed and ready.
I hear you. So anyway, so I had that because I wanted one, one rod sitting in the shallows. So I had that rod just about up on the bank, and I mean, I wasn't expecting it to do what it did. I mean, that fish hit. Well, you guys saw it. That fish hit that rod so hard that it literally bounced the rod up and shot that rod kind of straight up, and it set it right back down inside the rod holder and fish bite rod holders. That's what we have on our boat. And so and of course I jumped. I mean,
I'm surprised it landed back in the rod holder. I thought it was going to land in my leg when it came up out of there.
Oh my God, you and me both. I mean, like I said,
because that thing came good. What? A foot and a half out of the
boat. We've had a couple of hits like that when we're out there on the water. That was the first time I got one on film. But I've had a few hits on that same side. It's because in that same area actually, and it's because of how I've got the boat positioned, and I'm fishing that shallow up in there. And when I say shallow, that where I've got my bait placed, it's about 6 foot, 5 to 6 foot, off the bank, in about 3 to 4 foot of water. You know what I mean? And so I always throw one, back to that, back towards that bank in case there's a flat head or something kind of going, along the bank going for bait fish, and then everything else I tend to spread out between the ledges and the trenches and the deeper waters, and so I have a really good spread on that on that boat to catch them at those different levels. But yeah, it scared me. I could literally, that's the reason I jumped up and grabbed the rod the way I did. It literally scared the devil out of me. All I could see was that rod going over into the water.
When I seen that thing come up out of that rod holder, that's the first thought I seen is it going that way. Because I thought that fish was taking it.
Oh yeah.
I've heard of fish hitting that hard, but I've never seen it until that video.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it hit. I mean, it hit harder. And the thing was with that particular fish, when he hit it, he hit it. It's like he ambushed it, because what he did was he hit it so hard and he went to the left when he didn't just go up and grab it and then run back. I mean, he hit it running along the side of the bank with it. You know what I mean? So
right.
When he hit it, he was rolling so fast through there that he made that rod bend, and then he felt that tension and turned on a dime. So literally all that tension gave away all at one time, and that rod just jumped straight up out the rod holder and then it set right back down. And I right through that rod. I was like, holy crap,
I thought you were going to go swimming.
Oh, yeah.
I really going in there in the water.
And matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, I'll have to go back and look. I can't remember if it was or not. It was that the BCF I had? No, that wasn't on that side. That was Muddy River. That was my flathead rod. Yeah, that was my Muddy River flathead rod that jumped up out of there. And I would have definitely went swimming for that one.
Yeah, it'd like to have been a muddy
Sinclair rod. Hey, Brandon, what's up, buddy?
Catfish Headhunter wants to know, Pops, what is your favorite fish batter?
Oh, fish batter.
Actually, I make my own. I don't buy the commercial batters. I won't give you my actual recipe, but my batter includes plain cornmeal, some SWPOG, which is my personal blend, with a little bit of cayenne pepper thrown in there just to give it a little bit of bite. Now, in case you don't know what SWPOG means, that means salt, white pepper, onion powder, and garlic powder. And I blend that into my plain cornmeal, stone ground, not the plain crazy stuff that's out there, but use the plain stone ground cornmeal, which is dated way back yonder to when I was a child. And you'll be seeing that on some of my videos of some of the recipes that I'm putting out of me using that plain stone ground cornmeal. To me, it gives a good batter. I like to dredge my fish through that. Uh, rather than using a wet batter, a lot of people like to use a wet batter on fish. I don't. I like to use a dry, what I call dredge, because you actually dredge that fish through there in rolling it and turning it and so forth, and let that dry batter stick to the fish. So yeah, that's basically what my batter consists of. And so far, except every once in a while until I finally got my blend on my spices leveled out correctly. Uh, Sometimes it'd be a little too salty. Sometimes it wouldn't be salty enough. Sometimes a little too garlicky or a little too oniony. Or every now and then I'd stump my toe on the cayenne pepper. But, you know, those that ate it just drank a little more tea or water or whatever they were drinking to kind of calm it down. But yeah, that's the batter that I use. I've tried the commercial, what I call commercial batters, and I'm not knocking anybody that likes them, because if that's what you like, that's what you use. I'm by my cooking like I am about fishing. Uh, your cooking, cook for you, what satisfies you, makes you happy. That's the way you need to cook it. Recipes basically are just that. They're made to be tweaked according to a person's personal taste. Uh, some people don't like garlic. Leave it out. You don't like onion? Leave it out. Make your recipe the way you want it. And so far, uh, once I've got it finally leveled out, um, family keeps hollering when we're going to have a fish fry. So we're working on trying to get a fish fry together. Kevin, ever catch any catfish? What do you laugh for?
That's what happened too.
But yeah, that's the batter I use on all of my stuff. Is my own personal batter. Um, I just I don't know. It's just the way I grew up. I guess we always made our own. From the time I was a little boy all the way through, we never bought what I call the commercial batters.
Okay, here's one question no one's probably ever thought of asking.
Mhm.
Would you use the lard or would you use oil to fry your fish in?
Personally,
Yes.
if it ain't fried in lard, it ain't country.
Right.
And
Amen.
I'm
That's what I kind of figured, but I just wanted to ask that question because everybody's been leaving that one out. But I wanted to clarify that.
yes. Um, there's two things, and I'll mention this in a lot of my videos. There's two secrets to cooking fish. And I'll go ahead and share that with everybody tonight. And if you're not doing this and you do it, you're going to find out there's a world of difference. Number one, you got to cook it in a cast iron skillet.
Yep.
Number two, you got to use lard. Not all of this vegetable oil and olive oil and all of the off the wall stuff out there. If you want to eat fish and you want to know what country eating is all about, you got to use lard. And so yeah, we've got videos coming out, and if you've never eat fish cooked in cast iron skillet and in lard, I'm talking about pure lard now. In pure lard, you've never eat country, and that's country cooking. And I'm telling you, it makes a big difference in the taste of that fish.
See, I got a cast iron griddle, I got a cast iron skillet, and I got a cast iron Dutch oven. And my Dutch
Exactly.
oven is what I do my deep frying catfish in.
Right. Now, if you, and you know, Evan, just like I know, if you want to deep fry those catfish, use that Dutch oven.
Yep, that Dutch oven does me good.
Yep.
Perry's,
That's
Perry's talking about fish. K&B is talking about how you get what you want.
but
All
yeah,
right.
I use a lot of lard in my cooking. I use a lot of bacon grease. I save my bacon grease. Uh, so you'll be seeing a lot of that in my videos because of the fact that that's the way we did it. That's the best way to do it. Now I'll be honest with you, I've used the oils, but there's a total different taste there uh, than there is when you use the lard.
Bye, Betty Jean.
Bye, Betty Jean.
She said she's
Night, Betty
tired.
Jean.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be that boring to make you tired, Betty Jean.
It's the voice. I have the same problem. Amy, I'll be talking to her. She'll fall asleep on me.
Well, you remember she has to deal with Chad and Dockery in chat, so.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. I'm sure she's exhausted. And I wasn't there to kind of time in most of the night. So
No, if I want bacon grease, I'll cook up some bacon for a recipe I need.
Oh, yeah.
And then I let it cool off and put it in there when it's cooled off and not fresh. Especially when I do like green bean casserole and stuff like that. I'll use that on the green beans and my chunks of bacon in there.
Right.
But I love my bacon grease. I love my lard.
Yep.
You can't get anything better.
I did some research on lard versus some of the other oils, and I also see a lot of people that are going to butter, getting away from lard, going to butter. Supposedly it's healthier, but if you do your research, you find out that butter actually has more bad cholesterol than lard does. So if you're going to change from lard to butter, you're not really helping yourself because lard is a natural fat. Anytime you use natural fats, most of the time, now, and I'm saying butter, I'm not talking about where we sat down and churned butter, where you got pure butter without all the preservatives. I'm talking about the butter that's out there on the market today has a lot of preservatives in it, and those cholesterol, for those that's watching their cholesterol level, that butter's not as good as you think it is. And I would advise anybody to, before you switch from using lard over to butter or a lot of your vegetable oils and stuff, do your research because lard ain't as bad as folks think it is. We've been told that by the health foodies out there, and I have nothing against people who want to go through all of the different ways and try to improve their health. But my grandmother and my family on my side, and on both sides of my family, lived into their 90s, and guess what they ate all their life?
Lard.
Lard, pork. You know, that was our staple food. Now, I'm not saying that was the only thing that made them live to that age. But what I do know is when we sat down to the table and we ate lard biscuits, if you want to call them from that standpoint, as far as the ingredients going in it, and we ate pork and we ate all the things that they're telling us today is bad for us, we didn't sit down to a computer when we got up from the table and do nothing. We got up from that table and we went to the field and we worked. The real secret to eating the way we used to eat is the exercise where you're burning all of that out and burning it off. And if your blood is pumping through your system correctly, you're not going to get all this cholesterol buildup and all of that. A lot of our problems with our health today is lack of exercise, not what we eat. And I, I'm still country, folks. I'm sorry, and I know a lot of you disagree with me, but I'm country. Always have been, always will be, and I just can't change from my ways of eating.
I agree with you, Pops. I'm the same way. I don't like going to the stores and buying the store-bought foods. I like the home country cooking and home cooked meals to where it tastes good.
Right.
It's something that you have to go run into the store to get a box and throw it in the microwave to heat up to cook.
Yep. But yeah, and y'all gonna be seeing a lot of this that I'm talking about. Y'all gonna be seeing a lot of it in all of the recipes that I'm putting out, and I'm just country. That's it. So that's going to be the channel. Thing I was saying earlier in the video, and then I'm going to let Kevin talk. Earlier in the video was the fact that one thing that I learned through all of my years in the restaurant experience was people don't know where their food comes from. Not the fact it comes off of a farm or comes out of a field, but they don't know where the recipes that they're cooking today originated from. You know, and you talked about this earlier tonight. A lot of people say, well, this is a southern food, this is a northern food, this is an eastern food, it's a western food. But when you really get back into the origin of food, a lot of the food we eat had nothing to do with the south or the north or the east or the west. A lot of it, if you remember, the United States was not founded by what we call the American people today.
Exactly.
Our forefathers came from England. A lot of people came from Spain and a lot of the other countries from Ireland and all around the world, helping to settle this great nation of ours. And as they came here, they brought their recipes. Now, we in the South have taken a lot of those recipes and we've tweaked them over the years to be what we call Southern cooking. But when you get down to where particular foods originated that we say is Southern or we say is Northern or we say is Eastern or Western or whatever, it didn't start in the United States. It came from somewhere, and that's what I will be projecting also in my cooking videos. Where did it come from? And when it got here, what did we do with it? So I see people making comments on a lot of the food channels. Well, that ain't Southern. Guess what? You're right. Oh, you're right. That ain't country. You're right. But it is country, and I'm going to tell you why. Because it comes from a country somewhere, and we took it and tweaked it and made it like we wanted it. So, yeah, it's country, folks. It don't matter what you believe. Your food, recipe-wise, came from somewhere other than the South. And we all took it and tweaked it, or from the North, we tweaked it. The other thing you got to remember, folks, when the United States was beginning to grow and folks went to the great California gold rush, they carried those recipes with them. And a lot of the recipes and a lot of the stuff that we saw many years ago that was being cooked and was considered as a northern food was because the Southerners who went that direction actually adapted to that lifestyle because of the fact what they were used to getting and cooking in the South, they couldn't get it and in that area. Now, that being said, when I was a little boy, my daddy was in the military. I know firsthand, if you at that time went to the northern states, guess what you couldn't find? You couldn't get grits in the north. Now, with all of our transportation and everybody transitioning from here to there, you may be able to get grits in the north now. I hadn't been north in a long time, but back then you couldn't get grits. You couldn't
Well,
get stomped ground cornmeal.
the grits
So
they have up here versus the grits they have down south where you guys are at, I would not call them grits. It's pre dried, vacuum freeze dried, vacuum sealed grits in the box. That's
yeah.
to me is not grits.
Real grits is actually boiled up and
Right.
what if you real grits, it's actually ground up first. You know, the old school grounded up and then boiled up. What is it? 5-10 minutes.
takes 10 minutes.
About 10 minutes to boil up through real Southern grits. It takes about a 10-minute time frame. You can get that 5-minute stuff that you can get in the bag that you can pour out, but real grits takes about 10 minutes to really boil up and get going good. Now I'll eat those prepackaged grits you're talking about, Evan. Whenever I want to eat something on the go, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if I want real grits, my brother, unless he's changed, my brother won't eat packaged grits. He won't have nothing but boiled up grits. That takes 10 minutes. You buy the big bags of it.
That's a chip off the old.
Right.
The
The last time I really had a good batch of grits, I was in southern Alabama, and this lady was invited me over for breakfast, and she made this batch of grits that was so good, man. I about passed out thinking I was in heaven because that was so good.
Yeah.
But I mean, since then I have not found grits since I went north of the Mason-Dixon line.
I hate to cut it short, brother. I told you I couldn't go till roughly 9 o'clock, and I'm actually past that time now. I got to go get my son from work. He hadn't quite got his driver's license yet. So
Okay.
But we had a great time, man. It was awesome.
Hey, it's better than the last time when we had all the breakups and
yeah.
everything else.
Dude, I hated to have to cut you in. I had a buddy of mine shortly after we cut the feed. I had a buddy of mine shoot me a message like, "Wow, way to just drop him all of a sudden."
No, I understood it had a lot to do with the weather that's coming in and that, and you sitting in your boat.
Yeah, we were sitting in the boat. We were sitting in the boat under the shelter, under the boat shelter, which of course is all metal, and of course you
Lightning hits, you toast. You hit lightning. Lightning hits that metal shelter, it can go right into that boat too. So.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
I'd rather have you guys safe, where we can do it like we did today and come back and do it again.
Oh yeah, you'll definitely be back on anytime you want us to, man. Just give me a heads up, and we'll see if we can't get it together. I'm very happy that the storms went ahead and passed us by tonight. Right before you dropped the link for tonight, the electricity actually flickered, and I was worried that it was going to go off tonight. But the storm went ahead and passed us on by, so we were good to go, which I was very happy of.
I'm very happy everything worked out for us tonight. But we will be doing this again because I want to be keeping up with both your guys' channels and Pops' new cooking channel.
Oh yeah. Y'all be on the watch out. We're going to try. What we're trying to do with Pop's channel is right now for sure. We're trying to drop at least a video per week, and we're going to get some in the pipeline so that, unlike my the K&B Anglers channel right now, that I haven't posted anything in about a month because I haven't really been able to get out there and do anything. But it'll be in the pipeline so Pop can actually get out.
One last question for both of you before you leave.
In other
Okay.
words, what he's trying to say is rain, shine, Pop will deliver.
Yeah. So, but
You
yeah,
two- with you two, what are you guys' plans for Pops' channel this year?
basically what we've talked about, you know, it's taken roughly a year to put together. Believe it or not, this has actually been in the works for almost a year now, 6 months to a year. Well, I'd say at least a year that we've been talking about doing this. So again, we're trying to do once a week on the videos, you know, get them out there. We're looking to just, you know, at the moment, we don't foresee doing anything more than once a week. If, you know, Pop puts out, you know, every, you know, more footage than what once a week would entail, then yeah, I might start dropping one or two a week. But right now, we're just going to do one a week. Pop just wanted to showcase his cooking. You know, we're not worried about, well, Pop's not worried about, just like I'm not worried about the K&B English channel being monetized. He's just wanting to go out there and do his thing, you know, show what he does, kind of enlighten people, I guess you might say, you know, to what true country cooking, his way of country cooking is involved, and to entertain some as well, to tell his stories. You know, while he's doing it, that's some of the things that we've talked about. We've talked about some scenarios of how he can go about cooking certain dishes and the stories that are behind these particular dishes. Which right now we have at least 3, I know for sure, that are going to be hitting out, or going to be hitting the next few video drops. And he's going to be telling a story and going along with that. But yeah, it's just like when we first started with K&B Anglers, we're out, you know, his channel's just out to showcase and to entertain. And that's what we're all about, is entertaining. You know, that's what we started out with K&B Anglers, and that's what we like to do, is just entertain and talk, you know, obviously. But I hate to do this, buddy, but I need to get off of here for real, though.
All right. Can you do me one last favor and post Pops' cooking channel in the chat?
Yeah, I just saw where Kamada actually dropped the channel just a few seconds ago.
Yeah, and someone after that just came in was asking for Pops' channel again. Someone just came in. I don't.
And Palmetto posted that for him.
Okay.
Yeah. So
sorry to
Junior.
have you run, but we were having some fun.
Oh yeah, we were. I kept looking at the clock, and I was like, well, maybe I can wait just a few more minutes. When, you know, it's getting closer and closer, and I've got to get out there, and I'm out in the country actually, from where he's at. So it takes me a good 15 minutes to get over, or 10 minutes actually, to get over there to where he's at. So, he sometimes he gets off at 9:30, sometimes he gets off at 10. I'm hoping he gets off at 10 tonight, because I'm pushing the envelope.
Don't drive like a mad trucker, okay? Be safe out there.
Oh, no doubt, buddy. No
Enjoy
doubt.
it, David.
We had a great time, guys.
Great time.
Hope to see you guys again. Definitely will be seeing you guys in chat. You know, Dockery, Chad, I'll be back. And Junior, we'll see how well that works out for you, buddy, come Grand Slam. Love you guys.
I'm going to try to get Dockery and Chad back in here next Friday, see what happens.
There you go.
And as we say,
I don't know how well that's going to fare, but I'm going to see about getting into in here next Friday night.
In full.
And as we always say at the end of my channel, love y'all. Y'all come see us now. You hear?
Amen, buddy. Amen.
All right, I'm going to hit that leave button. You say you wanted to speak to me before we leave out?
I didn't.
Okay. Well, we're going to close out tonight, and we will see you guys later.
Thank you, Ace. So who all do I have left in here? Bacon grease for pancakes? Now that's some good cooking. You still in here, Headhunter? Amen, Ozark. God bless us all. Thank you, Smith. I want to try to top this one next week. If I can get to 2 characters in here I want. See you, K&B. Thank you, great. All right, Mr. Gadget. I don't know if Headhunter is still in here or not. I think he might have left. No one can top Pops. K&B. In my opinion, K&B and Pops are going to be hard to beat. Maybe if I could get Chris Flores in here, but trust me, I've done it. Squirrel. I know about that. Blessed, you're more than welcome to come up and chat if you want. I'll send you a link. Well, I'm not on my phone, Ozark. That will probably be maybe Monday night. I'm thinking about trying to get it Monday night. I'm waiting for the banks on the Kaskaskia to dry out some so I can go fishing there. And we'll bring some extra lanterns and stuff. Blessed, if you have any questions about catfishing, rods, reels, whatever, you feel free to ask. And I will be fishing more of the Kaskaskia than I do the Mississippi because I know the Kaskaskia better than I do the Mississippi. And the second reason is I don't have as many snags on the Mississippi on a Kaskaskia than I do on the I get more snags on the Mississippi than I do the Kaskaskia. And I know a lot of good places to go that a lot of people won't fish. And okay, we got 11 people in here. Well, Ozark, there will be a fishing weekend coming up in September. It's already been posted in Avid's meet and greet. It will not be a meet and greet. It's just going to be a fishing weekend. And if you want to come, we will be posting a location in there soon. Blessed, the reason why I started this channel is to help men and women that are starting out in catfishing, learning catfishing and fishing in general. The tricks and tips, the techniques that I have is always good. And we'll get back into doing those kind of chats and stuff in between us. So anytime you have questions, feel free to ask. I will help you with inexpensive rods and inexpensive reels. And I'm talking about rod and reels that's under $100. And I will help you find places to where you can find them and get them. And For those of you that are still in here, I have a Teespring store in the description below. Feel free to check it out. I have T-shirts, I have coffee mugs, I have women's T-shirts, uh, I have a variety of things in there, and I just put a new line of shirts up in there too. So, well, yeah, I will be doing some more live teaching videos when I'm fishing. Ozark, I will be getting back into that, and I do a lot of river fishing. I do a lot of lake fishing. And when I'm lake fishing, I use a different size hooks, but I still throw big baits. But when I'm using the smaller circle hook, I'm using the stinger hook behind it. I got mine's been up and running. I just have been forgetting about posting it in my descriptions. But when I'm on live on my phone, I can't really. Oh, I can. I just have to remember how to do it. Post it in the descriptions to do it. Blessed. That's one reason why I've started this channel is for people like you that want to learn something, and as long as I know someone that's learning it and helping themselves, I'm happy. I know I've reached out, I'm touching someone's life to help them get better at what they want. Well, Table Rock ain't going to be good for another 3 months. Hey, Melina, how are you doing, bud? How you doing, Tim? Oh, were you fishing? Did you go fishing, Tim, with Chris? You missed it. I just had K&B anglers, K&B and Pops on here. Neck of the mountains? You mean neck of the woods? They don't live in mountains, Ozark. They live in Albuquerque, New Mexico, in the desert. Oh, okay. I thought you were out fishing. Oh, that ain't good. New Mexico is a desert rose. That's what they call New Mexico, the desert rose. I often wonder how much New Mexico's changed since I've been there. Well, those mountains in New Mexico are the start of those are the Rocky Mountains. Oh, that's the only thing that sucks. That's one thing about New Mexico. They're really bad about that. The 2 week quarantine there is the smart thing. And going good. How what you fishing for tonight again? Flatheads, Jason? You're gonna have to go back and watch this because I had K&B and POPS on tonight, Jason. Good luck, buddy. Well, I was actually born in New Mexico. Yeah, catch a giant monster for us, Jason. Best way to keep chicken liver on a hook is do not cut the liver because it has a like a little silvery skin on it, and when you cut that silvery skin, and the liver will not stay on the hook. But if you use the piece of liver you got and keep threading it on the hook, even through the liver and to the gristle and back through the liver again, it will not come off the hook if you do not cut the liver with that silver skin on it. Oh, even old stocking will work too, but I found out when you cut liver for bait and you cut through that meaty part of the liver that has that little bluish skin on it, that is what helps you hold the liver on the hook. Once you cut that, it will not keep that liver on the hook. It'll tear it, and when you cast, it'll come right off. Now, I've never used those the other tricks, but I do know about the I want to go and accept those leggings that Norm's getting and burn them. Hey, you know you got my support, bud, Jason. Don't cut that membrane. Don't cut it. If you cut anything, cut the fat that's holding it. Exactly. Don't cut that membrane. If anything, find out where that fat is connected to it and cut the fat. Do not cut the membrane. And I have used just a regular J hook when I use the liver. You're welcome, Blessed. No, I don't want to see no man in a pair of leggings. I don't need to have that. Blessed, what baits do you normally use for catfish? Liver? Do you ever get night crawlers, Blessed? Blessed, do you ever catch any bluegills? Well, Blessed, try catching some bluegills and cutting them up and using them for bait. You will have a lot better success rate with catfish, and you'll probably start catching some bigger cats that way. Take a smaller hook like a number doubles. They work, but I know catfish will go after a piece of cut bait or a live bait, like your bluegills, your shad, your suckers, and a lot of other baits. But if you can catch you some bluegills, either that big or that big, you just cut them up into small pieces where you can put them on a hook and cast them out. You'll have some really good luck on catfish. Catfish love bluegills. And it's a lot easier bait that you can use without it falling off the hook. But when you use a bluegill, cut up bluegill, you have to use a bigger hook. And I'd like to see you catch a nice big blue or a big cat. That's bad, Ozark. What size cats do you normally catch, Blessed? No, I probably missed it with the way chat was going earlier. Oh yeah, I've seen that about your yeah, I've seen that about what you put on about the elastic string and wrap the line 3 or 4 times and cut it. I caught that Ace. I just didn't I was looking at 2 screens, keeping up with chat. Uh-oh. Oh yeah, but by the way, Jason, I still got your air pump that you left behind. Well, blessed when you start using cut bait, cut bluegill. Oh, when you start using cut baits like bluegill and suckers, blessed, you will start catching bigger cats. I just put it in the storage with the other collection I have, and just save it for later use. Believe it or not, Jason, when I from that last meet and greet, there's more dry good foods left behind that I brought home than I took. Hey Tim, you still in here? I got a collection of air pumps. Hey Tim, are they starting to sell Hatch chilies yet? That's why I was telling about damn. That's what I need is a 5-pound bag of Hatch chilies if I can, but I gotta wait. Blessed, you need to go at least 20-pound test. I'd say 20-pound. My personal experience, Ace, I've never caught a cat on liver that was over a pound. But when I started going to cut baits, I started catching them from 5 pounds up to 80 pounds. Blessed, I suggest you use a 12-pound test is more of a bass fishing line. 20-pound test is more of, yeah, you need at least a good 20-pound 20-pound test, blessed. All right, Tim, thanks. Now, what kind of weights are you using, blessed? No, flatheads would do it more of a night, blessed. But invest in some circle hooks and get some 3 and 4 ounce weights. Get some 3 and 4 ounce weights, blessed, to go with that 20-pound test. Now, what kind of rod are you using? What kind of rod are you using, blessed? Where you at, Ace? Where you located at, Ace? Oh, you're about 9 hours north of me, huh? It, fishing at a dam ain't bad. Now, blessed, is that a medium action or a light action rod? Okay, now that should be a medium heavy rod. You're blessed. You're looking for a medium heavy rod, at least 7 to 9 foot, with 20-pound braid and a good reel. A medium rod, that's more of a panfish, bass fishing rod. But you get a medium heavy, 7 to 9 foot, and you'd be set for catfishing. You want yourself a good, inexpensive, medium heavy action rod that has some good stiff backbone to it with a soft tip. You can normally get a good rod and reel combo like that out of Walmart that's medium heavy. Like a Tiger Shark or what's that other one? Shakespeare or I can't think of the other name. I catch big blues and flatheads down here all the time. If I come up there, I want some walleye and some northern and some lake trout and some salmon. Yeah, ugly stick. Thank you, Tim. Yeah, blessed. If you can find a good 7 to 9 foot medium heavy action ugly stick rod and reel combo out of Walmart, or one of those Tiger Shark or big game catfish rods out of Walmart, you'd be good. Yeah, I'd say that'd be about right. Yeah, but she don't need the 50-pound test on her neither. All she needs is about 20 pound braid, 20-pound test, a 30-pound test. Because that heavy, thick pre-factory line that's on that reel is going to be too heavy. Fishing with minnows. Well, yeah, you could use the rod you have right now for fishing with minnows for crappie and bass and whatever else. But if you get a medium heavy action rod and reel combo from Walmart, you can rig that one up just for catfishing. I have 3 catfish rods I use all the time in the bed of my truck. Yeah, but Ace, where do you get them at? Where did you get them at, Ace? Okay. Well, Y'all, it's been 2 hours. Shields, Ch- Chad, Sheeds, Shield. I don't know what you're trying to say, Ace. I don't know how to pronounce that. What is that? That's all you need right there. Blessed is a cat daddy rod, 7 to 9 foot, and you're set. Me, I use a heavy action rods and a lot longer and taller because I use it for leverage to pull fish out of brush and cover. Shields, okay. That's the best time to go to Walmart. Is when you know they have things on clearance. Exactly, Tim. I'm hoping to help her catch her first giant. Blessed, I'm trying to help you get in a nice rod and reel combo. So when you do catch your first big cat, you won't break that medium rod. And another thing is, Blessed, you need to have your drag set a little loose, not a lot. So when a big cat does hook in onto your, when you do hook into a big cat, he will pull drag and not break your line. But everybody's been 2 hours. I'm gonna let you all go. I'm gonna wish you all a good night and be safe. And I will see you next Friday night. And it's been good. It's been fun. I'm glad to have you all here. And I will see you next week or when I go live for fishing. That's good, Blessed. Good evening, Jason. You're welcome, Blessed. Anytime you have questions, you know how you can get a hold of me on Facebook, okay? I plan on it. Thank you. And thank you for everything you do, Blessed. Well, good luck, Jason. I know probably as soon as we end this live stream, you'll probably get better bites. Good luck, Blessed. I hope to hear or see pictures on Facebook where you caught a nice 20 or 30-pound cat. Good night. God bless, and may God keep us for another day and keep us all healthy. Night, Smith. Thank you. I'm glad you liked it. Blessed, go back and watch the show from the beginning. You'll see some of the good conversations we had and the guests that we had on.